France, I presume?
French, he confirms. Then after a brief hesitation he adds, Algeria. He sees something then reflected in her face. He wonders if he is only imagining it, tells himself he must be, for how much can this young woman know about the country he was born in and its internal strife, about Algeria and its fight for independence? She murmurs an affirmation, but no, he realizes he has misunderstood, that she has said something else entirely. Oran, his childhood home, whispered on her lips. He thinks back to a moment nearly 2 weeks past. She must read something on his face then, for she smiles tightly and says, "Lucky guess." Turning to the window, her breath causing the glass to fog, she continues, "Someone told me once that I should visit." He finds his voice. Vraiment? For a moment longer than that, he is uncertain whether she will say anything further. There is no indication that she intends to, and he is prepared to sit back and turn away. In disappointment, he thinks, when she looks to him and says, "Yes, there's a particular view, I'm told, from an arched window in the north wall of the Santa Cruz fort, the best in the entire city. I would have to rent a motor car. I couldn't take the people mover. I can't bear the thought of heights. But I should like to see it one day, that vast, never-ending blue." She pauses, takes a breath. "Afterward, I would drive the motor car out of town, find a cafe that overlooks the mountains and the sea, and order crepon." He can taste it, the sharpness of the lemon, the sweetness of the sugar. It is the taste of his childhood, the smell that still haunts him, even in exile. She turns to him. "It sounds almost too good to be true, n'est-ce pas?" He is slow to answer. "Oui, particularly in this weather." They both turn to the window where the sun is lost behind the fog and cold of the early morning. "I'm Louise, by the way. Louise Barnard." She leans across the aisle, closing the distance between them, and holds out her hand. "You can call me Lou. Everyone does." "Do they?" he asks, thinking it doesn't suit her. She holds his gaze. "Yes." "Henri," he responds, mirroring her lean, accepting her hand. "A pleasure to meet you." A moment passes and eventually they release their grip. "Do you mind?" she asks, indicating the closed window. From her coat pocket she withdraws a packet of gitane. He thinks her hands are trembling just slightly. "No, of course not. Allow me." He stands, opens the window, notices she has still not removed her coat. "Were you long in Belgrade?" he asks, sitting down again. She tilts her head back, blowing the smoke from her cigarette into the air above them. "Only a night or two." The train conductor interrupts them then. Henri retrieves his ticket and passport from his coat pocket. The conductor looks it over, nods. He turns to the young woman, who in turn opens her small leather satchel, retrieves her ticket and passport, and hands them over. The conductor looks from the passport to the woman, then nods, apparently satisfied. "Chvalavam," he says, and closes the door to the compartment. They sit back into their seats. The engines rumble, and a blast of steam fills the air with its whistle. Neither of them turns to the window toward the platform, nor do they glance toward the hallway, toward the occasional traveller and passing attendant, luggage in tow. Instead, they sit and stare at each other. In the silence that follows, as they wait for the train to depart, Henri does not bring up the last fortnight, does not mention Granada or Paris, and the moments they shared there, however small. In turn, she does not speak about what happened in Belgrade. There seems to be an understanding, an unspoken agreement between them in which they will pretend, at least for now, that the past does not exist, that this particular moment here on this particular train is their first encounter. He does, however, think as he settles back into his seat, feeling the initial lurch of the train beneath him, that it is a pity, a damn shame really, that everything about her is a lie.